Yo, what is going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to a story from Jizzy Pearl and Love Hate back in 1992. So the reason that I came across this story even is that I just recently did a reaction video to Jizzy Pearl's new single, and you can check that out right here. You're Gonna Burn from his brand new album. So, but when I was going across, because like I've been a fan of Love Hate since I was a teenager, early teens, mid teens, give or take. And I never heard this story before. So like I was like, what is this exactly? So like I thought, you know what? I'll just do a reaction to this story here and we'll kind of like figure this out together and react to this together. So what I want to do here is share this screen and we are going to listen to this little part of this video where they're specifically talking about this crazy event, if you will, I guess. I mean, it's I don't know exactly what we're gonna be getting into, but it just seemed like from what I did see of it, just seemed crazy. Okay, so the video is technically called it's only like a 5-minute video, and it's called Love Hate: How the Band Took on Grunge During Its Popularity. So this should be quite interesting in and of itself, and we have a lot to talk about just based on that title alone, let alone anything else. So, but I want to see what is this rock and roll's true stories this channel has to say about this Jizzy Pearl story. So let's see what we got here.
Los Angeles band Love Hate would be fronted by singer Jizzy Pearl and was formed in the mid-80s and was also lumped probably unfairly with the hair metal and hard rock scene at the time. They would have some success with their first album 1990's Blackout in the Red Room, which charted in the upper echelons of the Billboard 200 and did fairly well across the pond in the UK. But by 1992 the music scene had drastically changed and groups like Love Hate were suddenly left looking tired and uncool. The group's sophomore record Wasted in America barely made a whimper stateside, with Pearl telling the YouTube channel Wasting Some Time with Jason Green, people were talking about Nirvana. It was a word of mouth thing. Have you heard about them? Have you heard them? And that's how it sort of started in the wind. Guns N' Roses were still huge, they were still the kings, but shit was changing, he'd recall. Pearl wanted to get on more people's radar, and he would look to an incident that happened in 1932.
Well, and that's quite true as well. Gun, like you could tell just by looking back, for me, because obviously I was born in 1992, so I can't say myself that I lived through that. But certainly, like Guns N' Roses, they didn't put out nothing. Obviously, Use Your Illusion just came out a year prior to 1992. But yes, they were still the kings, like they said here. But at the same time, that whole sleaze genre that they were pioneering, that they did pioneer, just was not going to be it. The record companies didn't want to push that anymore. Obviously, the grunge stuff took over and rap, and it's just a shame. And I want to see here what Jizzy and the boys are going to do about this, because just foreshadowing, surprise that whatever he's going to do here, or they are going to do here, probably didn't really help the sales of Wasted in America. But either way, I want to see. I want to know where their mind frame and thinking was in 1992 here.
When Hollywood actress Peg Entwistle took her life by jumping off the H of the Hollywood sign. Pearl would recall in the same interview, "I was really going with the idea for a minute. That was the germ of the thing. Originally I thought, let's crucify ourselves on the sign as a sort of homage and a plea for the rock gods to take us out of this poverty. I would be on the freeway stuck in traffic and I would look up at that Hollywood sign, which is obviously iconic. There's something about it that draws people to Hollywood. It teases you and it taunts you." It would be the band's bassist Skid Rose who got into making movies around this time, and the group thought about filming the stunt. The band would build a 60-foot tall cross in hopes of erecting it onto the Y letter of the Hollywood sign and filming a mock crucifixion with Pearl volunteering to do the stunt. It would be an evening in June of 1992 that saw Rose, Pearl, and their drummer Joey Gold move the cross in several sections up to the Hollywood sign, leaving it unassembled overnight. The following afternoon, they would assemble the cross against the Y, with Pearl recalling, "Singers kind of have to fall on their sword for rock. Skid couldn't do it because he had traffic warrants. I was going to get arrested. That was okay. And all of a sudden the chain ladder, which had been twisted a bunch of times, it unkinks itself, so I'm swinging in the air, screaming and swinging on the other side of the cross. I finally calmed down and stopped screaming. I'll find footing on the cross and I'm hanging on. Joey's running down the hill laughing. I'll never forget that effort. He's turning around looking at me laughing," he'd say.
We are not role models for your life.
The band predicted it wouldn't take very long for the news media.
See, like these kind of ideas like this is why sleaze metal is probably one of the best subgenres that there ever will be in metal and just hair metal in general. Like just obviously the music is first and foremost, but the look, the attitude, like who doesn't the series like the tone of everything is just absolutely great for sleaze metal in general. That is why we love sleaze metal. But I hope they have pictures or video or something here of this, like instead of just a story. But let's keep going here. Yo, what's up, guys? I just wanted to jump in right here in this video and say thank you so much for watching so far and for watching all the other videos as well that we post. And also, can you guys click the like button? Help us get out, push us out into the YouTube algorithm for all other metal fans to find us and to find this music. And also, fans that aren't aware that they're fans of this music and of these bands and such that we like to talk about here. And also, too, if you guys want to subscribe, hang out, build this community up like it used to be back in the golden era of rock and metal, especially in the 80s and such. That's our goal here, and it takes me and every single one of you guys as well to keep this genre alive, and keep it prospering into the future. So that is a big goal on this channel. So if you guys are down with that, I have nothing else for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will get right back into this video.
And the cops to notice what was going on the Hollywood sign, but hours would pass and no one seemed to care or notice. It wasn't until a helicopter from one of the local news affiliates spotted the crucifix that the band made the nightly news. The only problem was that the news media thought the man on the cross was trying to jump from the sign and take his own life. Not helping was that the park rangers, the firemen, and the police were yelling at Pearl to come down, but he claimed he couldn't because he was stuck. Here's the news coverage from that day.
We have a breaking news story now on the Hollywood sign, on the letter Y to be specific. A man has put a cross on that letter and put himself on the cross. Captain Ron, what else can you tell us?
Well, Paul, this is quite unusual out here. It's drawn quite a bit of attention from the other helicopters out here in the Los Angeles area. As you can see, he's right in the middle of the Y, and we've got a cross out here that's decorated with some flowers, and looks like some other type of multicolored material out here.
Oh,
now,
my
he's standing
God.
on a platform wearing some leather boots, it appears like, and he's got his arms semi-extended on the arms of the cross itself. Now, it looked like he'd have to have some help to get up here. We've looked around the area out here and couldn't find anyone else, and we're unsure how he got up there. That's pretty much the scene here at the Hollywood sign. Paul, back to you.
Can you tell if there's some sort of lettering around his waist? The ZZO I see on the right there, Ron. I don't know if you can make it out any better than we can.
EZO,
Be able to tell us what that says.
well-
Jizzo? Rizzo?
It looked like that, just
Jizzo.
about what you can see, and that's about all I can make out from here.
This reminds me of a little bit like what Elon Musk recently did with like Doge, having one of the guys called Harry Balls and CNN was all over the place, and mainstream media was all over the place calling Doge Harry Balls, like, and they were just saying Jizzo like on TV, like back in 1992, like, oh yeah, Jizzo, yeah, like just saying anything. That is absolutely great, and this is why we love sleaze metal. Again, this is why we love it right here. But and also another thing, thank you, Captain Obvious, to the point of this guy had to have some help to get up here. You would think, like, obviously he's not Jesus himself. He didn't get up there by himself. So I don't. This is actually like I can't believe I never heard of this before. For following Love Hate for 15 plus years now, like I never heard of this story, and no one ever mentioned the story to me. Even whenever I did find someone to talk about Love Hate with, whether that be online or in person, like no one ever mentioned this. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is funny as hell. All right, let's finish this here.
Okay, our producer indicates that he thinks quite possibly it's some sort of protest against the meeting down in Rio, the environmental summit. We're going to follow the story, of course, and get back to it and see exactly why this man is up on the Hollywood sign.
At the top of the news, we went out in Newscopter 7 and showed you the man who was standing in the cross that had been put up over the Y in the Hollywood sign. You see him there. We understand now that this is a publicity stunt. We thought it might be a protest. No, it apparently is a lead singer for a rock group named Love Hate. Lead singer Jizzy Pearl is the man standing in that cross, and let's find out.
Pearl will be taken into custody, and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce would upgrade the security around the sign to ensure a similar stunt wouldn't repeat itself. As for the band, the stunt did little to help record sales, but did upset the record label to the point that they pulled them from opening for Black Sabbath and dropped the band later that year. Pearl would recall his arrest in the same interview, saying, "The cops made a big deal of cuffing me like I was a Night Stalker. They kept me in jail for hours and hours. I had to pay for a lawyer and do a few days of community service, painting graffiti over with winos and the Hollywood beautification team in yellow shirts."
You little son of a bitch.
Oh man. Okay, so that is crazy. Like, obviously it didn't help them with their sales, but shout out to Jizzy for trying to think of something to kind of like maybe maneuver their way into a couple more record sales, which probably didn't really happen with this because obviously Waste in America didn't really sell as much as their debut. And it's just it that sucks because everyone in the sleaze, the glam, AOR, all of that stuff was having trouble at the time, and everyone was just kind of thinking we're so close to this. Like I can think of a band like Love Hate, like they were so close to like tasting that success, like from the first album and such, and they feel just like they're so close, and like we, it's slipping away by this new wave of just depressing rock and metal, and that is grunge, and it's just like what the hell are we doing here?
Hey everybody, my name is Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale, and you are watching the Crash Course Metal Show. Check it out. Yeah.
Shout out to Jizzy and the boys there. Like that's funny as hell, but I just wish they had a little bit of a better outcome with that. But it is funny, dude. And like I can't believe, like I said, I can't believe I never heard of this before. Absolutely crazy. But shout out to all the sleaze bands. Shout out to Love Hate. Shout out to just hair metal in general. Like this is why we love this genre. Like this is funny as fuck and didn't hurt nobody. Didn't hurt nobody. So all fair game. But that absolutely sucks, though, that they lost the opening slot for Black Sabbath. Now, granted, that was around the time Dehumanizer came out, and they kind of had a little bit of a reunion with Ronnie James Dio, which that's a good album. But, I mean, sure, that's probably one of the... I mean, who wouldn't want to open up for Black Sabbath? But at the time, I would imagine that would have sold pretty well. And, that could be another reason why Waste in America didn't sell at nearly as much because they didn't really get to go out and tour with Black Sabbath like they should have as well. So that hurts. That goes hand in hand with hurting the record sales. And then just getting dropped too, because I'm a big fan of the album after Waste in America, like Let's Rumble. Like I think that is one of my favorite Love Hate albums, and it's just so good. But that took another like 2-3 years for it to come out or so, and it's just a shame what happened after this, and they got cut. So yeah, I mean that's what a lot of bands owe during this time, and it's just not a pretty sight after 1992 for bands on labels. So I want to read a couple comments here and see what people are saying. Forever to be remembered as Jizzo. Nice. Yes, certainly. That it doesn't get much funnier or better than that. I don't know. Blackout in the Red Room is such an amazing album. Very good album. Let's see. This person says here, I remember reading about this in Circus Magazine when it happened. First and last time I heard about Jizzy Pearl until now. The article said the cops asked him to sing something while sitting in the back of the cop car on the way to jail. He obliged. That's interesting. If we could ever get any kind of like confirmation on that, Jizzy, if somehow Jizzy's watching, please let us know if that's true. That that would be badass. All right, last one here. The fact that they planned it and spent 2 days carrying it out, only to finally have a local news helicopter find them wearing a belt with Jizzo written across it and thinking they were protecting the environment summit in Rio, makes this feel like one of the most unrock and roll moments in rock history. Even Jizzy looks like he's waking up from a bender from the footage. Probably was.
Hell
Honestly,
yes.
I mean that's how sleaze metal rolls, dude. Like that's the way it is. Great job hanging the cross there, boys. That is funny as hell there, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Do you guys ever remember hearing about this? I mean, obviously it was probably more of like a local type thing, story, because it didn't really make national news or anything. Uh, But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. And I mean, this is why we love hair metal. This is why we love sleaze metal. I know I said that plenty of times in this video, but that's the truth. I mean, that kind of fun, just go for broke. Like absolutely great stuff there. So, guys, stay out of that collateral damage. If you guys enjoyed this video, check out Jizzy's new single reaction right here.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.